So the global Dokkan celebration is most likely going to be DAIMA something, just, more often or more likely than not. For that reason, I thought we'd take a look at some DAIMA characters who have come and gone and actually get into a run with them. I'll be taking DAIMA Goku Mini, Glorio, and the Super Saiyan 3s as a sort of homage to the actual, Super Saiyan 3 Goku Mini that we get, right? So we'll be taking both Super Saiyan 3 Gokus. And then I couldn't really figure out who I wanted to take here. I don't have Daima Vegeta, so I couldn't use him. I figured why not just bring two solid characters, but two characters who aren't like so overbearing. Obviously, the gods are incredible. We're not going to take that from them or anything. I'm not saying this is like a sandbag or anything, but yeah, I figured we'd take the gods because the team could use more firepower. I mean, look at our roster, dog. Like, come on. And then I thought we'd take Goku and Frieza because, again, not strong enough that it's like, oh my god, carried, but just strong enough to get some use out of them. I thought it rounded out the team nice, but yeah, I guess this is going to start off a series of videos where I kind of want to go with funky team builds, kind of odd team builds, not using Gogeta, not using Vegito, and, just getting some runs in. So if you're up for that, stick along. At the end, we're going to recap, talk about how each character did and why they were useful. So yeah, let's get into it. And here we come back on the Kefla phase. I figured this is a nice phase to come back in on because otherwise, let's be honest, do you really need to see the Kale and then the, fodder dogs fight this team? Probably not, right? You get the idea. We're not going to really struggle with them. So yeah, let's come back in on the Kale phase. We have our rotations essentially up and running. The Daima Gokus have been performing as you'd expect, which is to say they've been performing pretty smoothly. No hiccups, no damage really taken. Maybe you could see in the indicator, but we haven't been able to transform our Fizz Super Saiyan 2 EZA Goku. That's because the Daima Gokus just don't really take any damage, right? I think there's some contention when it comes to certain characters and how tanky they are and how useful they are. This is a character I've taken into Blue Goku, and they've done fine, right? Like, obviously late into the fight, Daima Goku has to play dodge the super, but it's one of those things where he's not the squishiest character in the world either. And of course, he's paired up with the damage reduction Dynamo Super Saiyan 4 Goku, so that's pretty nice. And then, yeah, Glorio here rounding out the team. Glorio is more than likely going to have some problems coming into the locking phase, but it is what it is. That said, some smart usage of our actives should get him through. I think that Glorio just ends up being one of those characters who is mono useful, right? He's just useful. I don't know what else to say. He is one of the best supports the game has ever had. He could arguably be the best support the game has ever had, but I won't go that far, right? Because LR Bulma was obviously incredible for a very long space of time. I think Glorio has the potential to be very similar in that respect, but obviously not being an LR, he lacks some stats that Bulma would have access to, right? So yeah, we come to our active turns. Not going to use any of these. Just going to continue to stack. We're going to float the Daima Goku off more than likely, just because he's done his useful bit of zipping around in this fight. He's been active in all the other rotations. He's floated other weak characters off early so that they didn't get clipped by random supers and, take a bunch of unnecessary damage. And now it's time for him to sort of be the, floating, not support, but just sort of anchor to a rotation, We don't need him on rotation hogging up the spotlight from our gods here, nor do we need to baby him in slot 2 or something. He can just kind of be flexible. And the Go Frieza unit is, of course, one of our stronger just heads up tank units. Ideally, I would like to get the Go Frieza unit off of this rotation at some point, just because it doesn't really serve us to have the gods transformed on the same rotation as the Go Frieza unit, just because it is too much of our tanking, our slot 1 power split across uneven rotations, right? But we'll have to see how that goes. Goku dropping a pretty solid attack stat. Obviously, this character is age, but I mean, let's be honest. There's quite a lot of TURs this year who are dropping 16 million attack stats, right? It's surprisingly high considering we got a lot of power creep this year. Like, you'd think it wouldn't be the case, but yeah, we're gonna float the Super Saiyan 3 Goku off again. It'll just become one of those things where incidentally at some point he will transform, and then we can get some real firepower out of him. But until then, I wouldn't worry about it too much. We'll be seeing the end of this rotation pretty quick and easy here, I'd imagine. I just don't believe she's gonna live. Right? Yeah, we've got our damage. Our a crit from Super Saiyan 4 Goku should seal this one. And Super dodges this one, yep. Remember, tanked the last one for double digits. So, doing pretty well on that front. Yep, crit and finish off. I love this Goku's animations. I remember this character was getting lumped in with the Go Frieza and Evo Vegeta during the anniversary. People were saying that animations weren't that good. I think that's fucking crazy. Like, I don't know. I think there comes a point where like we have to be a little reasonable, right? I get this. I get that the 2025 year of Dokkan hasn't quite lived up to every expectation possible, but you know, be for real. We got a dangerous rotation here. Kind of considering what to do active wise. I think I'm just gonna burn the boats here. Just let them run. We're not running the actual visuals, of course, because we're trying to, you know, this is not the speediest team in the world. We don't need to pad this one for time. I think Glorio is in a little bit of trouble here if he catches a really early super, but obviously he has type advantage, and he's got some big boys on rotation to lock up the remainder of that rotation. So if he can get through, and he does dodge, so there we go. I don't think if he took a super here, it would kill him, but I could be wrong too. Maybe it would probably depend on how many attacks he actually got off. So we'll see. But yeah, Glorio is just one of those guys, right? He is just phenomenal. Festival of Battles, red zones, doesn't really need to dodge unless you're really applying early pressure to him in that slot 3 position. But I mean, outside of Fusion Zamasu meta, it's just that doesn't really happen. You know, like all of last year that didn't happen. Can you name a fight where that was the case? I can't. I genuinely can't. I struggle to. Because we had the Beast Gohan fight at the start. We had Gogeta at the start. That wasn't too much at the start, or immediately. Cell Max, right? Yeah, something like that. I don't think it looked it looked particularly tough for Glorio. I think every meta we've had since Fusion the Monsters would be pretty good for a Glorio type character, which means that going forward, he's just going to continue to be good until they decide to drop that turn 1, you know, obliteration phase on us. Though who knows if we ever go back there, you know? I mean, we kind of have that position where Dokkan clearly listened last time. People were like, hey, we don't like this, and have tailored all of their information, or I guess the direction of the game around it. It comes to a point where, you know, it's clear that they're listening, right? It's not a mystery. We get that they heard us loud and clear. Locke looks a bit unfortunate here. This is the reason I wanted Gods on one rotation, Go Freeze on one rotation, because right now I'm looking at this and I'm like, ugh. Thankfully, this Jiren does not have dodge cancel, so I'm playing with the space here. I'm like, who am I gonna do? Who am I gonna do? Let's pop some actives just in case. Obviously, these actives aren't going to do a brick of damage or anything. I wish this character was stacking. This would have been the character to stack. I'm not going to lie. This would have been a great character because this animation, it'll return though, right? Like this Goku's getting an LR. He's going to get an LR where he does the elbow because we're missing that, right? I think every single DAIMA character that we have will get TURs and LRs. I don't think that like the global Dokkan, and we get a dodge there. I don't think the global Dokkan celebration will be the last we see of like DAIMA forever. I think we're gonna get TURs and LRs essentially spammed thereafter. And yeah, we needed that dodge like that. We're taking 15,000 from autos, which it's not the it doesn't mean we would have been dead, but it does not bode well. Especially this team has 668,000 HP. I don't know if you guys have been playing Dokkan recently, but you can get up to 800,000 on surprising teams. On surprising teams have like 808,000 HP now. So having 668,000 is a really overt piece of like power creep. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's raw numbers. It was something I talked about when trying to talk about saving for the anniversary and what we could expect. That difference of having 200,000 more HP on like these shitty teams is so powerful. It is so powerful, right? So yeah, we getting more attacks in, doing a pretty, sizable amount of damage here on this rotation. Like I said, the Daima Gokus have done their job. We got through Kale, we got through, what is his name? Kefla. We got through Kefla. We're getting through Jiren, phase 1, who arguably is the scarier Jiren, and we haven't taken a brick of damage yet. We're gonna rotate the Fizz Super Saiyan off again. As I said before, what we're really trying to do is burn down this phase, this AoE phase, which is pesky. We don't have a Gogeta to Ghost Usher it away. We don't have a Vegito and a Gogeta to just blitz it as hard as possible. So let's just get done with that phase and not really worry about it anymore. We'll move on there. So get clipped by a super, no dodge. Should be 0. Well, not 0 exactly, but you know what I mean. So here comes a string of autos. We're getting some crits, and Gloria will come in for a nice helping of damage. I don't even know if we kill it here though, because Gloria obviously hasn't got a ton of attacks this playthrough. He's been in a weird position. He hasn't gotten to sit in slot 3. He's had to take slot 1 sometimes. He would need to get some supers here. Normal. Oh fuck. Okay. And he's done. That's tough. At least our rotation is completely safe. We've got type advantage and have been lowering his attack. Okay. I don't think Goku can do it. It's just not enough damage on the table. If he was transformed, he would for sure blitz this guy down. He would evaporate Jiren if he was transformed, but we need to get very lucky here, and we didn't. And let's see how much it was. Let's see if it mattered. I think it did. I think it 100% did. It mattered. Yep. So no super on Glorio and no super on Goku means he's alive for another phase. That said, I don't think this is the worst thing possible. I kind of prefer the idea of going into phase 2 of Jiren on this rotation rather than the next one, but just because I feel these characters, especially with the dodge canceling, are much more likely to just explode, whereas here we go, let's see. Ooh, 351,000. Hey, if we survive phase 2 turn 1, then we get our Goku transformed, so should be nice. Yeah, this is a pretty easy cleanup. 18 million, that said. Boom, clean animations, man. No crit? Okay. What's next for the boy? So obviously we have advantage here, and we're going to just do the obvious rotation. We're not gonna, make this one particularly special or anything. If we get the gods some supers, I'm not entirely sure if Jiren's damage to the gods transformed. They're more of a dodging character, but we'll get some healing. I think if he doesn't super, yeah, I think we're fine then. I don't think anyone in this rotation can die anymore. The only one who I would imagine so would be Glorio. But maybe I'm miscalculating as well. Who knows? With any luck, we just broke the super and aren't going to have to deal with it. Gods are blitzing him through. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, they are. And man, it is cool to be in the age of really good Dokkan animations, by the way. Like, EZAs from 2022 are going to hit like a nuclear bomb. Like, genuinely. Like, as we're watching this sequence, like, Fusion Zamasu's coming. Vegeta and Trunks active skill that does 9 million damage is coming. You know what I mean? Like, even things like Yamcha and Raditz, pretty good animations on those characters. even if Raditz is a bum, like one of those things where you can see the value in 2022 as a spectacle, you know what I mean? Pan, like Tech Pan, famed for the Tech Pan slot. Her animations are pretty fun. You know, we get a Super Saiyan 4 Goku appearance out of that one, I think, in our active skill, so I'm still kind of coping for Global Dokkan Celebration being Daima plus GT. I do think that is the best case scenario if you haven't seen that video. There's just, it doesn't make too much sense to completely blow everything Daima has in one celebration, considering the EZAs are sketchy, because they're gonna have to EZA something, and the EZAs aren't like, they don't fit like gloves. But let's get our boy transformed here. Yes, sir. And this is where you're going to see Super Saiyan 3 Goku put in some work. Stats look fine. Slot 2. Let's get the heal maybe. Yeah, I think so. Let's get the heal. No reason to risk anything. You know what I mean? No reason to risk anything. Let's get our heal up. Let's get our rainbow orb. Yes, sir. Let's get Super Saiyan 3 Goku boxing. Kind of thinking of leaving Daima on, but I think Daima has served his purpose. I don't know. Yeah, I think yeah. This is where I'm going. So I think Daima served his purpose. We're gonna keep him floating. Like I said, everyone on this team is sort of fitting into a powerhouse together. It isn't really the case of just one doing it, or, you know, two characters doing it. Everyone's doing a job on this team, and I think it's better if we just acknowledge that Daima Goku is done doing his job for the most part and is just gonna hold down that slot 3. Instead, we've got Super Saiyan 3 Goku here, still being a dominant EZA, by the way, still being a strong EZA. This character has been completely forgotten for some reason, and I promise you should be picking this guy up out your box because he is so fun to use. Look at him. He is dominating Jiren right now. 40 million attack stat. Could be way more if he didn't get a normal. So, yeah, pick Super Saiyan 3 Goku out of your box. Take him for a ride. He is super powerful still. Double-digit normals. That probably means that we broke a super attack somewhere along the line, right? Unless it's slot 3 here. Okay. Daima Goku holding on. I mean, those normals aren't anything to him, right? Perfect. Nice. Okay. Jiren out, same as usual. We got the damage reduction. We're going to put the gods in slot 1. The gods should have a brick of defense, probably in the 2 millions right now. Plus guard, you know, type advantage guard. True type advantage, in fact. So let's just keep it going. Why switch it up? Yep. Looks light. And we got him. 41 million from the gods. Again, the gods are here to sort of play the role of a pseudo Vegito, but way less powerful, right? Like, if we had Vegito in this fight, the fight would have ended, you know, last turn probably, right? But because we've decided to hamper this team a bit, use some more unorthodox picks, obviously we're gonna have to burn through a little more HP. That said, putting in work. Yeah, gods are so swaggy. That might have been the super he burned. Might have burned another super there. Could be 21 million from 22 million essentially from Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Again, animation's looking crispy. Yes, sir. 50 million. And we get a normal. So let's see. No normal there. I think we have burned both supers. I genuinely think that we've burned both supers. I couldn't imagine anything else. And we got a normal there, so yeah. Okay. And wow, what a rotation. Yeah, wow. Let's just tell you the obvious. Get our rainbow orb. Get our orbs here. Right? Nothing. Oh, yeah. Here we go. AGL. And get some support up. Perfect. 8 million, obviously. I think the reason Goku's damage is so low here is because he didn't get hit first, right? That's how he works. So a pretty meager amount of damage. Boom. Damn, my boy's sitting like a pillow. Here comes a super. What's it look like? Post super, there shouldn't be anything. Post super, there shouldn't be anything. Yeah, 119 with the crit. Like, come on. Come on, pack that up. I think we've seen enough. Let's get the GOAT working. 29 million raw. I told you, man. Take Super Saiyan 3 Goku out of your box. Let him play. He wants to play. Yes, sir. Swaggy. Man, I'm so sad the Vegeta was kind of a letdown for this celebration. The LR Fizz, you are number one EZA Vegeta. I felt like he was a real letdown for the that was Super Boost celebration, right? I feel like he was a real letdown. Maybe I'm crazy. You could call me crazy. I just feel like he is so much weaker than that EZA Goku. I feel like he's so much weaker. But like I said, I could be wrong. I felt like when that character was in my team, he was dying. Sure, he did a lot of damage, but you could just do both as a Goku. You could do damage and live. You know what I mean? And you can't do damage if you're dead, baby. You can't. Okay. Popping, popping, popping. Popping, popping, popping. Yes, sir. And I think that should wrap it up. Outside of we'd have to get really caught, but you're just supered. So there's essentially no way he supers again. Statistically. Not that many attacks in front of the gods. Should just be a wrap up. Yeah, type advantage and 39 million, essentially 40 million. This should be it. This should be our run. And with all that being said, I thank you so much for watching the video. Like if you like the video. Subscribe to join the club. We all gonna make it. Dokkan's dead, but we can still find ways to make it fun. And, as of recording this, it's like 3 a.m. or something like that. So maybe TN's about to come out and we don't even know yet. So look out for that. That should be exciting, I guess. I'm not pulling. But if you happen to pull, it's not, by the way, it's not because it's TN, it's just because I'm saving for Global Download Celebration, so it is what it is. But yeah, if you decide to pull, if you're excited to pull, I hope you pull soon. I've been Lone. Let's just get a quick screen cap of that item list clear. And that's us. We are out. Peace.